Welcome and welcome back to Inner Earth School. We're happy that you tuned in. We are about to have a fantastic episode, one that's very close to my heart. It's about the transition model coined by William Bridges. As always, I'm joined by my dear friend, model, and co-host, Adam. Adam, how are you today?
Ex-model. Hello, brother. Good to see you again, and great to see all of you Earthlings who are giving us your attention to watch this episode. It means a lot to us. Thanks. We look forward to this journey we're going to go on with you today.
So, I mentioned already, this is personal to me. I've just been through, or I'm still in a transition. Um, but before we open any personal can of worms, Adam, why don't you fill us in and let us know what the model is about, who it's
Mm.
written for, and why it's so important.
Thanks, brother. Again, I think we spoke briefly on the last episode about what's joined us together, and it's the fascination we have for life, the life journey, and the transitions and evolutions that we all go on, and we've shared our own anguish on the transitions that we've gone through, and so it's something that underpins what we do, the work we do through Inner Earth with the Pathfinder program, and our shared interest in that as friends and also as business partners. Um, and so this was something that came up for me this year. Sorry, last year. I'm obviously currently studying to become a counselor and psychotherapist. And last year I had to do an assignment on the different models we've been learning around grief, the process of grief, and how that aligned with different aspects of our lives. And so I was putting together my assignment, and it was as I was putting together my assignment and the research around the different models of processing grief that I came across something called the Bridges transition model, which is based on a book I've actually got here called Transitions, written by William Bridges, and Susan Bridges, which is his, I think it's his daughter. Um, and basically, so what I love about the Bridges transition model is so simple, and it will resonate with you so deeply. And so the premise is that every transition you go through in life has three distinct phases. Um, it's all around the new beginning, right? So there's the new beginning that you're moving towards. So that's kind of like the third phase, if you like. So we're looping backwards. So you've got the third phase of the new beginning, but every new beginning starts paradoxically with an ending. And in order to move through the that stage of something ending, you have to be willing to let something go. So you've got to put something down before you can pick something up again. And then once you've moved through that first stage of an ending, you move into this zone that they coin the neutral zone, which we like to call the in between. And this is this really difficult and challenging place to be, where you don't know what's next for you. You don't really know who you are anymore. You have no point of reference because this is an unfamiliar place that you've never been in before. Because what once defined you no longer defines you. And you don't really know what's forward, what's backwards, what's sideways. And it can become a really challenging and overwhelming place to be, quite a dark place at times. Um, Now, that being so, it's also a place of great opportunity and change. This is when newness can come into your life. So you can either look at this phase that you're in with like deep sorrow of what you've had to leave behind and how difficult you're finding the process, or you can look at it was like, well, now I've got an opportunity. Now that thing's gone, what what can my life look like? Like maybe it can be even better than it was before. Maybe that relationship that I'm grieving letting go of, actually, maybe there's one that's even better meant for me that's out there. Maybe there's an even better job ahead for me. And life kind of moves on. And so it can be so this is the place that I feel it's so hard for all of us to be, is this in between phase. It's a really, it's like, I'm sure you'll speak to this in a second, mate. It's a struggle. It's a place of frustration. It's a place of impatience. Um, but it's also a beautiful place of growth and newness. And I think if you can reframe that in between phase to a more positive outlook around like how do I want my life to be, then then it can change. It can start changing for you quite rapidly.
Mm. Yeah, beautifully said, brother. And paradoxically, it is the most painful, the most uncertain, the most challenging part, but the most important. But it only can become positive when you surrender to the isness of this
Mm,
neutral zone and allow the old to be bygones, be bygones, right? And move forward. Personally, I agree, and for me, the last ending was was filled with shame, guilt, um, not regret, but personal doom and gloom because I thought I wasn't or I'm not good enough, and these typical thoughts you have when something ended that
mm,
wasn't by your choice.
mm,
So for me to enter the neutral zone then
mm.
had all this burden on my shoulders, and it's so difficult to then allow. It was so difficult to allow myself to surrender to the moment and say, okay, now is the time where I should breathe, relax, go for a walk, and ask those, vital questions. Who am I right now, and who do I want to become?
Yeah, it's hard, right? Because you you may not actually want to be. Most of the time you've had to leave behind or let go of something that maybe you were quite happy with. It's a lot easier if you've made the choice to end something, right, rather than it ending for you. Um, and so it's a really difficult place to be. And like you said there, the trust and surrender are such a big piece to being in that zone of like surrendering, like you said, to the isness of being in that place. Like it is what it is. I'm here now, and then trusting that life will begin to unfold exactly how it's meant to for you, and it will all happen in good time. And we both know how fucking hard that is to. It's easy to intellectualize and talk about, but it's a really difficult place to go through that I know we've both been through and are still kind of going through in some aspects of both of our lives at the moment. And I kind of one of the ways I like to see that kind of fills me with hope and comfort and moving forward is that I'm here and this is my life and this is my awareness of my reality when I'm in that in between phase. Now, life is actually just getting me to stop, and it's actually just getting me to stop and stand still, whilst life underneath the surface is bringing all these different pieces of the puzzle together in order for me to move forward again. So it's almost like the cogs of life are still turning, like growth is happening beneath the surface, like those seeds that you've planted are growing roots. You just can't see the shoot. The shoot just hasn't come out from the earth yet. So because you can't see any of that that's going on, there's obviously that's why it's so fraught with impatience and frustration. If you could see all of the pieces that were actually coming into place for you, and all the intricate moving and changing that's going on beneath the surface that life's kind of, or God or source is providing for you, then you'd be like, oh, okay, cool, I can see that there's movement happening, there's progress. But because it feels like you're just not going forward, and you're stuck, and everyone else and the world seems to be moving forward, and everyone else is getting on, but why am I stuck here still? Um, it's very difficult. And again, this is why this kind of work informs, sorry, these kind of philosophies and models inform the work that we do and the work I'm passionate about and know you are, is because I find this stuff fascinating. It really is. And this framework for me has definitely helped me. This transition model, it kind of underpins all the work that we do, really, of what Inner Earth and the Pathfinder program is all about. and how it can help people through these different phases from the ending to the new beginning.
Yeah, beautifully said. And if you allow me quickly, we're coming almost to an end.
Mm,
But to take a macro perspective of what you just said, life is a huge transition. There is birth and then there's death, right? But in between, there are many, 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 many micro transitions that we saw. It's nothing new to us. We are all living through a huge, divine, cosmic,
mm,
universal transition. So these little transitions in between, they're just opportunities for us to take a breath, take stock, and then just realign a little bit. And spiritually speaking, these are the moments given by God, by the universe, to allow us to redirect.
mm. And remember, and who we are, and learn about who we are. They're like they're opportunities. That's what they are. Like all the experiences are opportunities for us to get to know ourselves on a deeper level. And it's the answers that we get from going on those journeys, those transitions, those heroes' journeys that we've talked about. That we get to know who we are and like what we want in life, and then that informs our character, that informs our communication, that informs how we show up in the world. Um, and like I don't know about you, but I remember, as a kid, your parents give you advice, and looking back as an adult, you look back and you think, wow, that was such good advice. Why didn't I take it? Because it was almost like, well, I had to have the experience myself. It's almost like I had to go through an experience to really learn it. And I think that's sometimes the best way of, well, it is the best way to learn, is to having that direct experience yourself. So that's what we're also trying to create with the Pathfinder program and the Inner Earth journey, is we're trying to give someone an experience within a framework, that they can get to know themselves on that deeper level and start taking their own intuitive advice and wisdom.
Beautiful. Hey, I think this is a perfect moment to land the plane. Thank you, Adam, and thank you for watching. It means the world to us. Please like and subscribe. The usual YouTube shenanigans. We want the algorithm to lift us, so that someone who needs to hear this, share it with someone who you think is in a transition, who is maybe stuck in that neutral zone and doesn't know what to do.
Mm.
Again, thank you for watching. You find all the information in our show notes. We leave a link to our website where you find much more information, innerearth.co.uk. And Adam, any last words?
Just that I love you, brother. Roman, you've been a great
Yeah.
friend, and I love doing this work with you and having these conversations. They bring me a lot of joy. So thank you for being on this path with me, and thank you to all the inner Earthlings for joining us on our journey. We look forward to bringing you more insight on our journey and your journey. Till the next time.
Right back at you, Adam. Um, what I say is ditto to not make it a sob fest. Thank you for watching.